What's your job? Your job as a performer is to make the people you're singing to believe that you are who you say you are, and that what you're saying about yourself is true. Singing, performing, whether it's in studio or on a live stage, is an athletic event. It takes vitality of the whole body. It's not just from here to here, it's from here to there and outward. You're always communicating something. All right, so let me step into an alternate universe. How y'all doing? Can we take the lights down a little bit here? In a performance, you don't go out there and try to give them a good performance. That's my pet peeve. Women, when a guy asks you for a date, who are you going to date? The guy who gets up there and goes, hey, 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 I'd like to go out with you, hey, hey. Or the guy who's like, yo. You want to be convincing. You want to do it authentically, enthusiastically. You want to do it with commitment, truth. That's what you're looking for. That's how they do that. I'm going to read you some definitions, and then we're going to get into the 4 quadrants. These are some definitions I wrote recently for a presentation I was doing. Is this interesting to you guys? Is it making sense to you? Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Would you tell me if it wasn't? No? Okay. I appreciate the honesty. So I'm basically a sink or swim up here, right? You know, the guy really sucks, you know, but... And fortunately, because I was so persistent and I was so hurting so badly and had such a drive and a need to get things out there, that I dug and dug and dug and dug, and I found some good mentors who had pieces of the puzzle, and I systematically and methodically built what I'm capable of today. And the interesting thing is that I saw that what I used to do that, the same concepts, the same mindsets, the same emotional sets, the same physical things I had to do, those were consistent in every art, no matter what, whether I was dancing or playing the piano or singing or writing music or acting. And then I went, oh my God, it's the same no matter where I go. If I talk to somebody at a party or if I have to meet somebody and do some business. High performance is high performance. What you have to do to become a high performer in any field of endeavor, it's the same. Which led me to the central concept of the science of switching on, which is there is only one art. That art is you. Okay, so I want you to think of that energy as on a scale of 1 to 10. And what I want you to understand is that most people walk around at an unconscious 3 to 6. We have no thought about what energy we're using in the world. A little bit, every once in a while, maybe. But it's even that, when we do, our range is kind of like 3 to 6. Very few people use the power of 1 or 2. And when you want to talk about storytelling, when you want to talk about being present with somebody, you know what I'm saying? You might, right? You know? Does it feel like I'm just standing here doing nothing when I'm standing here looking at you? No, I'm still here. But the energy is kind of tuned down. And then I can tune it up a little bit to about here. Now I've got it a little bit up on the dial, and then I can turn it up to about here. And it's not just volume. It's not just emotion, it's energy. And we can go up the scale until we boom! Okay, what is presence? It's a radiance that comes from within when you are physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically in alignment with your highest self, your truest self, your most expanded self, and your most empowered self. A radiance that comes from within. It's a quality others feel when they interact with you. They sense your engagement. They feel you are paying attention to them, that you hear and see them in a manner they rarely experience. How many conversations do you have with people where their eyes are flitting around, they're not really there? They're trying to get out of the conversation, they're wondering, all sorts of things. It takes great discipline to be present. And also, if you are believing that there's a reason you shouldn't be present, like that you've got a crisis that you've got to attend to immediately, which is an illusion generally, you also aren't going to be able to be present because you're going to be running after that crisis. It's an aura that surrounds you by virtue of your being completely present to yourself, awake, aware, and conscious. You have to learn how to be in tune with yourself and be aware of what you are feeling, because that's where authenticity comes from, not lying. You may have stuff that you choose not to share, kind of, partial disclosure, but you don't have to have partial disclosure to yourself. Well, let's say somebody's upset at their husband or their boss or whatever, okay? And you know how we equivocate when we're talking about how we're upset? Well, but they really are, trying their best, and so that if I say, what would you really want to say to them? If you let your hair down, you knew you never had to tell them, and you really just got gritty, raw, and honest. Well, but I mean, they're really, I don't want to be that way. No. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to get them to go, shut up! I want them to shut up and just get out of my face. It's very hard to get somebody to say that.
So you're trying to elicit that from the other person?
Well, that's the truth, isn't it? I want to know what the truth is. We got to start with the truth so that then you own, it's like kind of embracing the inappropriate feelings, the dark side and all that. You got to know what that is so you can decide what part of that you're going to utilize, if any, in your interaction. But if you don't let yourself in on the truth, you're going to have what I call an energy lock. All the energy is going to be in that war inside about what you should think versus what you do think, what you should feel versus what you do feel.